The man deliberately boarded the plane wearing work clothes. Then, he sat down in a first-class seat. Unexpectedly, this move immediately angered the flight attendant. Seeing his cheap work clothes, the flight attendant thought he didn't deserve to sit there, so she went over to give him trouble. However, the man confidently said that he had bought a first-class ticket, but the flight attendant didn't believe him and insisted he show his ticket. Helplessly, the man reached into his pocket to take it out, but found the ticket wasn't on him. Seeing he didn't have a ticket, she told him to get off immediately, but the man calmly took out his phone and called his secretary, told her to bring the ticket over. Unexpectedly, right after he spoke, the flight attendants started mocking the man, thinking he was just bluffing. But what they didn't know was that the man in front of them was the richest man in the world. Even the airline they worked for was a part of his business empire, and the reason the man did all this was to test the trial flight of this new model aircraft. So he deliberately kept his identity hidden and came on board to experience it personally. He didn't expect that his outfit would be despised by the flight attendant. They even tried to kick him off the plane. While they were arguing, the flight attendant accidentally threw the man's bag onto the Secretary General. Seeing her coworker had offended the Secretary General, everyone thought she was done for. Unexpectedly, the flight attendant turned around and blamed the man, saying the man had no ticket and was refusing to leave. To their surprise, the Secretary General publicly scolded her and handed the ticket back to the man. When the flight attendant saw the ticket, she instantly realized she had offended someone important. She apologized to the man in front of the Secretary General. After the Secretary General left, the flight attendants gathered to discuss the incident. They all guessed the man's identity must be extraordinary. While they were still talking, the newly appointed manager of the airline happened to come aboard the plane. But as soon as the manager sat down, he was attracted by the chief flight attendant nearby. He stared directly at her, so he immediately asked his assistant about her. When he learned she was the most beautiful here and also the most capable flight attendant, the manager ordered the assistant to bring her over. He said he wanted to inspect the service quality. Unexpectedly, when the chief attendant arrived, the manager claimed his seatbelt was loose and asked her to adjust it for him. Seeing the chief attendant obey, the manager took the chance to get close to her. This scared the woman, but the manager had no intention of stopping. He even groped her in front of everyone. At this point, the man couldn't stand it anymore. He walked straight over and stopped the manager, but the manager didn't take him seriously. He questioned who he was, but the man ignored him and continued to expose his misconduct. The manager didn't care at all. He thought the man was being nosy and tried to teach him a lesson on the spot. Even the woman beside him tried to stop him, saying he shouldn't offend the airline's manager. After all, the manager was very powerful. She told the man to leave quickly and stay out of it. She planned to resign once they landed. The manager then warned the man to behave himself, saying he was the airline chairman's son. Aside from the company's major shareholder, the world's richest man, no one else could touch him. But what he didn't know was the man in front of him was the very billionaire he spoke of. He even revealed he was about to meet the billionaire, but the man calmly told the manager that a mere manager had no right to meet the billionaire. The manager angrily asked why he said that. Unexpectedly, the man directly revealed he was the billionaire. As soon as he said it, the manager laughed in disbelief. Just as he was about to confront the man, his assistant stepped in to stop him, saying this would reflect badly on the company. After all, the maiden flight test had global attention, but the manager didn't care. He even accused the assistant of insubordination and said he would fire him. Seeing his behavior, the man thought he was beyond reason and totally unfit to remain as manager, so he decided to fire him. But the manager didn't believe it. The man walked up and made a phone call, ordering HR to fire the manager within 30 seconds. The manager still thought he was bluffing. He said if he really got fired, he would jump off the plane. The next second, the phone rang. When he learned the call was for him, the manager answered in confusion. To his surprise, the voice on the other end said he was fired, but he thought it was a prank call, so he hung up immediately, thinking the man was teaming up to fool him. He said this and moved to punish him, but the next second, the plane suddenly shook. Then the pilot's voice came through the cabin, saying the plane hit severe turbulence from a thunderstorm. Nearby airports were unreachable. An emergency landing was the only option. He asked all passengers to brace for impact. The manager still looked confused and asked what emergency landing meant. When the assistant told him it was basically like a crash landing, everyone on board panicked. Trying to save himself, the manager even ordered the pilot to find a safe place to land. But what they didn't know was, the plane was already out of fuel. There was no safe place left to land.